trying to act according to his words. And then right at the top of the letter is another response to him from another disciple of Prabhupada who's living in Thailand after marrying a Thai girl. And if you could please read that, you could start with, without moving from the mode of Tamarajas. The top of the page.
Okay. Without moving from the mode of Tama Raja to Sattva and gradually to Suddha Sattva, we remain here in the modes being buffeted, seeing from the wrong perspective because we are not situated in pure goodness. Over the last few years, I have spent more and more time in the rural village where we have a small family formed and have gained a deep appreciation for this simple life, which is what His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, spoke and wrote about so extensively. Albeit the Thais or Buddhists, the remnants of the ancient Varnashrama system remains to some extent in the villages, not in the city. Seeing my wife's parents, who have lived in one small village all their lives and have grown their own food without ever owning any vehicle, not even a bicycle.
Not even a bicycle, his wife's parents.
But who never complain and almost always are cheerful, eager to do good deeds, always willing to work, never lazy, who rises early, cook rice, and go on to the village streets to offer the rice to the monks, who attend the temple on the holy days of the August month. This truly is the way that Srila Prabhupada envisioned life being lived. There's no need for unemployment, and there is very little need for money, and what little money is needed is gathered by simply trading some rice, fruit or vegetables. Life in the city is a Tama Raja, which invariably breeds increases of desires for sense gratification and material objects of comfort. Personally, I lament that only now, when my body is in the 60s, am I beginning to appreciate the little treasure of the simple life that Srila Prabhupada really understood. In the Gita, Lord Krishna says clearly that we live from food grains, and these are produced by the rain, and rain is produced by the yajna. He has not once said that we live by producing iPhone, Macs, and Androids, and has not once mentioned establishment of big factories and banks. The Brahmins really must be able to see the practicality of the village life and teach the rest of society how to live it.
Okay. I do pray that in the years to come, more and more devotees will seriously take to the simple living, based upon agriculture and cow protection. So another first-hand experience from a devotee in Thailand, where life is peaceful there in the villages. But once we catch that bug in Rajagun, it's like a fever. And it grows and grows and grows, and we need that, and we need this, and we need this, and we need that. And it's very, very difficult to calm that calm. And this whole society is expert, as Krishna is describing to Arjuna in the 3rd chapter of the Gita. Kamesha Kodesha, Rajaguna Samudbhava. Kama and Krodha are coming from Rajaguna. So this whole society is just so expert at expanding and convincing us of all these things that we need. And why do you think they're doing that? To make us comfortable and happy? Or to take advantage of our weaknesses so they can become comfortable and powerful? Which do you think it is? So, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen within the next year. Probably won't happen within the next decade. But if we don't set our sights on it, on what is the solution, it'll never happen. It'll just degenerate into chaos. Because the present system is not sustainable, any way you look at it. As we were discussing this morning about the types of weather-related weapons, U.S. and Soviet Union, back in those days, Soviet Union, shooting weapons into the atmosphere to create types of weather weapons against the enemy country. There's certain ways that electronics and technology and weaponry can change the atmospheres such that it creates problems for another country. But what they didn't realize is that the long-term effects it would have on the ozone layer. And one of the reasons for the climatic changes, the global warming, that practically everyone is accepting today, is going to be a big problem. But their whole hope is technology, again, can fix the problem. It started the problem. But the same technology will fix it. How? There's many different things that they're trying. One is to shoot different types of gases up there to block the sun's rays. So it creates some types of mist clouds. There's all kinds of things that they're trying. They always have this hope that the technology is going to fix it. But it doesn't. It just creates one problem, and then to fix that, 2 more problems, to fix that, 4 more problems. The Prabhupada says, the animals don't have any problem for ahara, nidra, bhaya, matunya, eating, sleeping, sex, defense. They don't have to go to school, like we have to go to school for 30 years, or 30%, 20 years, 30% of our life, just to go and make some bread, so I can live. The other species don't have to do that. But now we're advanced human species. In the old days, traditional villages didn't have to do that either. They learned things from their parents, according to what varna they were, a trade from their parents, and they carried on even in their youth. And people were getting married young. And nowadays, I was just speaking to one of our Indian devotees who was, the boy is, I think, 30 years old. He says, so when are you going to get him married? Well, he's got to finish schooling, and he's got to get a good job, and he's got to be able to buy a house, and, 30, 35. So people can't get married any younger because of all these economic problems. And then that creates other problems because of that. So they're feeling that technology would just give us some kind of fix. But like Prabhupada says, the science is not solving problems. Janma Mritu Jara Vyadhi, birth, death, and age. And it simply made the eating, sleeping, defending, mating, simply made big problems where the animals don't have problems with these things. So we should not have so much faith in that. But rather we should have faith in a God-given system. You must be waking the eating from the... Yeah.
Yeah, no, Mataji needs to go. She has an altar service.
Okay, she is. Okay. So just before we end, maybe we should have started, but the devotees are leaving, they heard this morning. But we want to finish with, as I mentioned, Prabhupada's purport, where he's discussing this very issue. So now, first of all, we'll hear from the actual shloka in the 10th canto. Mataji, you have it now? This is the verse that we were having for Bhagavatam class this morning. Ten, 20, 47.
Okay, Parikshit.
Can you read the Sanskrit?
Okay. Dashnam Barijani Shrivatane Kumupinam Dashnatule Bhavamukha Yatadasum Vinanupam. You want me to read word by word?
No.
Okay, Parikshit. When the autumn sun rose, all the lotus flowers blossomed happily, except the night-blooming kumut.
Oh, I'm sorry, 48. 48, next time.
Puragramesha Rayane, Indrescha Mahotstavya, Bhavavu Pashasha Shadhyam, Kalabhyam Nitaram Hare. In all the towns and villages, people held great festivals, performing the Vedic fire sacrifice for honoring and tasting the first grains of the new harvest, along with similar celebrations that follow local customs and tradition. Thus the earth, rich with newly grown grain and specially beautified by the presence of Krishna and Balaram, shone beautifully as an expansion of the Supreme Lord.
Can you just come a little bit closer into here and read the short purport? Yes, stay standing up, thank you.
Okay. The purport? The word agrane refers to a particular authorized Vedic sacrifice, and the word Indriya refers to the folk ceremonies that have somewhat worldly objectives. Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. During autumn, the fields become filled with rich grains. At that time, the people become